Hey guys, it's Scott Baker. I'm back in Buffalo again to take a look at another brand new boat that showed up here in our showroom. You know, when Beneteau makes a boat, they keep refining it year after year. And this boat has been refined. It's one of the people's favorite boats that Beneteau's had. You'll see a ton of 38.1s around. You'll see them all around Buffalo and around Rochester, over in Canada. It was a very popular boat. Well, they've refined it down and they renamed it the 37.1. It's virtually the same boat, but a little different and a little better too in a lot of ways. Let's take a look and see what she looks like, all right? Okay, the Beneteau 37.1. Look at that boat, beautiful, right? Nice lines, nice and clean looking, a nice sprit. Let's talk a little bit about her dimensions. Overall, when you count in that sprit at the front there, she's 39 foot 2 inches, bordering on almost 40 feet, but the hull length is only 36 feet 1 inch. So if you take into account the water line just up here to the front, it's like more like 35 and a half feet. And the beam is about 12 foot 10, so she's wide and, you know, a lot of volume inside this boat here. Her air draft is about 54 and a half feet. And we have the shoal keel on this model here, which is a 5 foot 4 inch shoal. And this keel's got a lot of things going on. It's, first of all, it's shoal draft, so you can get in a nice shallower water. It's got like a beaver tail bulb in the bottom with wings too. The boat's configured with a Yanmar 40 horsepower diesel engine. And that's spinning this Flexifold tri-bladed prop here that folds up nicely. It's geared so that if one blade opens, they all do. Works really well in forward and reverse. And there's a nice strut with a cutlass bearing in it. And it's real simple here. And then in the back of the boat here, over here by the window, we got one of the rudders, and over here on the port side is the other. So big flat underbody here. This boat is, close to 36 feet long or so, 35 foot of water line. So it's gonna have a lot of speed when it's up to full speed. And they have a fractional rig on this boat here. We're just looking at the underbody here again. And theoretical hull speed just under 8 knots. So that's pretty quick. Yep, this boat is laid out with 2 cabins and 1 head, and it has a big storage room we're going to see in a little while. Notice that there is a hole here through the middle of the boat with a little propeller in it. You know that? That's a bow thruster. That's your best friend when you're coming into the dock and the wind's blowing you sideways here. There's a nice chine that runs right down the side of the boat here, and we got some topside port lights here that are letting a lot of light down below. So, up there on that bowsprit, you got a big anchor roller, and of course connection points for cruising spinnakers. What a pretty boat, right? Just great lines, nice and clean underbody, and this boat is really made for a cruising family that wants to spend some time in a nice safe environment at good speeds and have a lot of creature comfort. So let's climb up the old ladder and see what we got up there. All right, stepping onto the swim platform that can be raised up if you need it to be. It's a sail or lowered in place if you want to go swimming or make it easier to board your boat from the stern. This is a huge swim platform. I'm going to say from here to the side of the hull, it's around 3 feet. There's a nice step to help you get up into the cockpit because it's a couple feet up. And then over here we have a nice 4-rung swim ladder that can be lowered off this to make boarding really nice. Now there's a spectral line over there holding the swim platform up, and same thing over here along with a block and tackle arrangement to help you just manually pull it up when you want to. And I pulled the helm seats out of the way right now just to take a look at what's below where they go. And look at these gigantic storage bins in here. Just huge. Certainly tons of room to put fenders or dock lines and things. There's a look at the autopilot controls there. RAM. Now in the center of the boat here, there's a big space underneath there to put a life raft if you want. This side is kind of the same arrangement on this side on the starboard here. Big deep locker. Yeah, autopilot controls here too. The round unit there with the winch handle cover over the top of it there's one over there too. Those are the tops of the rudder posts for the twin rudders. And back here, if you just got out of the water and you want to shower off, yeah, here's your shower control right here, hot and cold water. That's pretty nice. So all that's going on back here. And now if we want to, we can just lower the cockpit helm seats into position here. And that clicks in so that it won't go anywhere. I'll do the other one too, so it's kind of fun. We got a little pneumatic rider on there, and that little button on the end there goes down into that hole, and bam, clicks in. Nice. Now you got a great spot to drive from. On the twin helms, port and starboard, we have engine controls to starboard. What else we got over here? We have a nice compass from Plastimo. And then that's a windlass control there with an anchor chain counter. And that unit there will allow you to know how much anchor chain you got out at any given time. And that's nice to know that, you know, we have only a little or a lot. And right here is a charging connection point to a USB. You can plug in things, units, navionics, things like that if you have it on your iPads or whatever. We have places back here for a magic ladder to reboard. There's a place there to put your horseshoe buoy. And now let's just take a quicker look at the helm here. We have some instrumentation on this side here. This is the engine controls to start the 40 horsepower Yanmar. This is bow thruster controls here. And this is a Garmin unit that can do all sorts of things. Has all the different controls for speed, engine readouts. Heck, you can even control the music from here. And while you're sitting back here, you have just right at hand a winch that has the could either have the main sheet and or the Genoa sheets both coming back to it, so you could crank them in and control the things as you're sailing right down the line here, and you have a great view down the line of the deck here. And it's a nice place to board up on the deck and walk forward if you want to, instead of having to climb over the cushions here in the cockpit. This helm over here on this side has an autopilot control and a multi-unit display that's going to do, boat speed, depth, whatever you want it to. You can really make it just the way you want. This boat has air conditioning, and so you have two places to put shore power, one for air conditioning and one for just shore power in general. And so then just a quick look around this cockpit. It's just huge, really big. I'm just flabbergasted at how much space there is in here. You could certainly have somebody back here driving. There's one. You could put a spare person over here if you wanted, and you could have 6 people easily in this cockpit while you're sailing, and certainly more if you're at the dock and just entertaining. There's just tons of space. Right in the center of the table is this, right in the center of the cockpit is this table, which is really nice to have a place to put your feet down and anchor yourself into the big seats here. Now in the middle of the table, there's what I would use as a drink home. I'd fill that with ice and pops, and just right there you can just grab a drink, and then you have, drink holders all over the place to put them in. And then if you're having a meal up here, the table just locks up. Again, here's the foot bracing down low. Really, really nice, right? So on the other side, there is no storage underneath this bunk because there's a big cabin underneath there. And okay, so popping open this hatch, we look in here and we see, hey, this isn't your normal lazarette. This is a gigantic tech storage room down here that I'm going to try to lower this camera into so you can get a look around. There's just shelves and storage bins. There's 2 gigantic sails down here. There's a door here that goes into the shower. We'll take a look at that a little later here. But we got poles for vangs here and other things. So you could mount extra freezers or fridges in here. You could put all sorts of equipment in here, whatever you needed. You can certainly climb in. There's the bilge pump handle, but nice gas strut on here too. Closes up, so you don't get that third cabin, but you get a huge amount of storage space because of it. And a lot of people think that's a pretty good trade-off. So let's see here. We're gonna just take a step up and go forward now up the side deck here on the port side. And as we do, we're just looking at tons and tons of room. Look at the width of this boat. The boat gets wide early and it carries that beam all the way aft. Here's a gate on this side right here. Really firm stanchion controls here. Nice Pelican hooks too. You'll notice that all of the deck hatches are flush, so you won't stub your toes on them. That's a feature we just love. Here's a track for the Genoa, and there's another little track up here too that you could put a self-tacking jib on. Deck step mast. Here's the base of that. Places for the wires to come through, and where all the lines start aft here through some spin lock turning blocks, back to some nice spin lock stoppers. And then that winch right there on the port side is electric. It's a big electric Harken winch that probably would be where I put my mainsail controls on, the main halyard and the main sheet if I could maybe. And the other side is a manual winch. That's a self-tailing 2-speed winch there. So once again, I'll just keep going forward here. Tons of space. That really nice, Beneteau non-skid. It just seems to last forever. It does a really great job of keeping you on the boat. Up front here, it's not a closed bow pulpit, but two big column rails on both sides that act like a bow pulpit. They do this so that you can, the lines can go up forward without having things to get jammed on. And we got this nice sprit up there. You can see the bow roller in the foreground for where the anchor will be. And then up front of that, there's a couple attachment points. You could have, like a Genoa, and then like a Code Zero or something out in front of that if you wanted to. Here, let's just take a quick look in the anchor locker. Yeah, so here's the quick windlass. And yeah, we can control that from back in the cockpit with that anchor chain counter, or we can use this hand control right here too. The winch is an emergency safety device. If the electrical goes down, you can hand crank your anchor up then too. And then, yeah, the anchor chain would come out of here around the roller, and it's guided straight out to the main roller. So that gets it out away from the front of the boat. Here's a nice little trick to keep ourselves from having this close accidentally when we don't want it to. So, make that go below. So, great room up here. Yeah, the forestay is going to come right out of here. There's a hole right there. That's where that's going to come up from. And just, the boat just gets wide real quick, and it has all this volume. That interior volume is great for when we're cruising because we got places to put things and people and stuff, and that's all good. There's some ventilation here on the top of the decks. And let's see, I'm counting a big foredeck hatch there, a couple of littler ones. Here's two more, and then here's a big center one. Not to mention some opening ports on the side, and of course the main companionway too. So lots of ventilation for down below, or as we talked about earlier, you can flip on the AC when you want to and cool off down below on those hottest of days. We got some cockpit speakers. There's some wind channel holders here. Yeah, tons of things. Everything you really need to get started. So let's see, what do we got to do to go down below? Well, we slide open the companionway hatch and we open up to the magnets. The doors, that's pretty hard. And now we're entering down below. We'll notice that there's some cushions missing right yet, but we get the idea. We'll take a look here. Let's go down below on the 37.1. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned before, but Mark Lombard designed this boat, and he's done quite a few of these designs now for Beneteau, and he's getting a pretty good reputation at it. The boat has 94 gallons of water, and I think around close to 35 gallons of fuel. Let's just take a quick gander around. First, we have an aft cabin and a little nav station here. And then this is a U-shaped salon sitting area. There's a compression post. We got a little TV. Through the doorway is the V-berth area. And then we have a long linear galley on the starboard side. And then the head is aft and to starboard. So, well, let's start with the head. Why not? We'll start here and we'll look in here and see just tons of space. It looks like that's all there is for the head is a toilet and a sink, but guess what? You'd be wrong. There's an enormous shower. So let's see, walk in here and come back. This is a nice 2-foot opening here at least to come in. And here's our shower nozzle, and we have a big shelf up here to put things. And then underneath the shelf here is a gigantic storage area. And that's cool. This would be a great hide-and-go-seek place if I was a little kid still, but I'm only a little kid on the inside still. But anyway, here we have the doorway that goes out of the shower into that big aft storage area there. We have an opening port to let air into here. But, this could have been another cabin. You can get this boat laid out with 2 aft cabins, and then you wouldn't have this storage room. But as this one is, it's got this big, huge area. It's lit. It's got some of the shore power cords, the sails, and tons of other stuff in there. You could honestly put bikes and stand-up paddle boards, whatever you wanted to in there, and it's all ready to go. So great that you can get access to it with a big door down below here too. That's pretty neat. So the shower here is a winner in my book here, and then we have a vacuum flush electric head here, and then we get to the sink with storage. I think this this flips down. You got places to put all your bath goodies here, more storage here, toilet paper holder, and a little mirror. Okay, so coming back out of the head, let's swing around over to the aft cabin here on the port side. Down below the bunk, we got battery controls here, and as we enter in, there's a nice closet on the outboard side of the room here. This closet, it's got shelves, it's got a hanging area, plenty of room. You'll notice that right below there's a duct for the air conditioning to come into here. So this room, there's another duct there too. And this bed, I mean, king size. That's all that comes to mind. That's got to be king size. It's huge, just gigantic. It goes underneath here. There's a light right here. There's lights up in here. We have a port that opens up into the cockpit, so you can get some ventilation there, and really nice underlighting and things here. Here's a air conditioning control here, light controls. We do have a side access panel to the Yanmar in here, and plenty of room to stand in here, change your clothes, whatever you have to do. You're not crowded by the bed, and yet when you get in there, I mean, again, I think that's a king-size bed all day. So as you exit out of here, we're coming into the nav station area here. You would sit, now the cushions are missing, I'm sure, but you get an idea what they look like in this particular boat. They're a nice beige color. And this nav station table has got storage here. You'd sit facing aft here, and you got controls for, the VHF radio, all the lights, the 12-volt systems. You got an air conditioning control here too. Tilt this down a little bit. There's a tank tender there to know how much you have in your holding tanks. Forward here is a nice closet. That could be a hanging closet. It has a bar across there. I think you can take this drawer out if you wanted to make it full hanging. And that's nice and deep. That locks underneath here down low. More shelves, more storage. Storage on a cruising boat is like, you know, like having storage in a house. You just want to have more of it. There's never enough. Underneath this seat here, storage. You could certainly put, you know, gallons of water or a beer or whatever you want in there. And then on this seating area here around this table, I mean, we're talking easily 6 people. There's a bench seat here, and this has controls there where this can slide out towards me right here and slide towards the galley. So you could sit a couple people on the bench here too. And then meanwhile, tons of storage space again, almost like a pantry for the galley here. So let's talk about the galley. On the aft section of it, this is a linear galley here. We have up top, starting with storage. Up inside there is a plug. You could probably put a coffee maker in there if you wanted to, or a blender. There's a Fusion stereo control. Storage back underneath here. And then on this counter space here, this is some sort of like a Corian or a nice material here. We have a big refrigerator. There's a freezer section over here and baskets to move around. And if you drop something down there, guess what? We have a door here too. You can get down into the lower levels with the side door. That's really nice access. So really very big refrigerator. I'm going to guess, I don't know, 3 cubic feet or something like that. It's just enormous. It's a lot of space in here, and I'm impressed. So just forward of that is the propane stove and oven. And this, of course, gimbals. And below that, we have another storage space. Okay. And then more shelving, and up here, places for spices. Then we have another area up above the sink here with storage. You could put plates and glassware and things up in here. And then you have those big open port lights on the side. There's one over there too, by the way. And those are just going to let a lot of light in. There's just so many places to let light in here. It's great. This is a single basin sink here, but it's nice and big. It's got a nice unit on here. We pull this out for a trash bin. That's easy to get to. We have a nice drawer here for utensils and silverware probably. Yep. These are all lockable. Down below here, more storage. Yep. And this is the control here for the propane so that you can turn on and off the solenoid. So a long linear galley, great for when you're, you know, anchored or at the dock. I need 2 hands to get the refrigerator closed, but up above here we have an opening port. We remember seeing those ports from up above. Here's the big one in the center. There's a couple there. Across from me over there is a nice little TV that's on it. It can spin around, and we have storage behind there too. This boat is finished in a nice sort of a walnut color that I like. I know you can get a lighter color inside this boat, like a maple looking thing, but I like the walnut. I think it looks classy. We're going to come into the V-berth area now, and another huge bed. I think it's smaller than the one in the aft cabin, though. I got to say, this is still maybe a queen size here. But you got on the port side here storage with tons of drawers. This is really deep. You could probably say that's 2.5 feet deep there. You got another one on this side. Yep. Now, they make these boats multi-configurable, so if this one wasn't the way you want it, you could get 2 heads on this boat. There's a line here where a second head would be in this whole area here, would make this bed a little smaller, but you could get a second head up in here. And then you have, again, the option of having 2 aft cabins. So if you have 2 aft cabins, you lose that big shower. But, you know, there's sort of like what works for you. What do you need, right? You know, how many people are you going out with? In the middle of this table is a nice little storage unit. That's where I'd put my cards. If we're going to play euchre, you got to have a place to stow the cards that's convenient. And, you know, storage is the big word that I'm coming up with here. Just tons of places to put things. A really nice clean headliner that's in really great condition. There's curtains that can drop down here and all these windows on the side here. And very nicely done. All right, so let's take a quick look at the engine here. This is on pneumatic struts. That just comes right on up on its own. That's great right there. There it is. It's a nice Yanmar 40 horsepower motor. It's nice to have a good size engine like this to push this boat along. If sure it could get the boat to hull speed, almost 8 knots there, and take it far. It's really easy to maintain these Yanmars these days too. Everything is at hand and easy. You have, again, access panels on both sides from the head and from the aft cabin and from in here. And yeah, the filters are all easy to get to also. It's nice to have it on these, underneath this panel here where you don't have to go picking the stairs up and putting them somewhere else on the boat in order to get in there and do things. So lots of space. Yeah, the 38.1 was real popular. This new 37.1 is going to be a great selling boat. There's just a great boat with lots of features for a family that wants to go out cruising. If I was going to head to the Thousand Islands for a week or 2 weeks with my family, this would be a great platform to do it on. I'd be thrilled to take it to Put-in Bay if I was on Lake Erie. So yeah, let's just go up above and finish this tour up here in just a second. Okay, so the Beneteau 37.1, what's the tally on this boat here? You want to get your friends and family and take them sailing on a classy, beautiful yacht. This boat, as it sits here in Buffalo, ready to go, delivered to you, will be $426,197. So, you know, we're going to launch the boat, rig it, get anti-fouling paint on the bottom. We'll get your cradle ready to go for you, put safety gear on it, give you a docking pack that we'll put the flag on, write your name on the side of the boat, everything you want. And it's all yours. All you have to do is turn the key and leave the dock with it here. So, yeah, $426,000. It's a really good price for everything that you're getting here. It feels like a 40-footer, and it's, you know, going to last for years and years. Make tons of memories with this boat. Again, if I was heading up to Lake Huron to the Georgian Bay or something, I think I would love this as my home away from home. It's just very thoughtfully well laid out. It's been tried and tested from years and improved from all the owners. Previous owners' suggestions. There's tons of space to do things on here. It's safe, it's well equipped, and it's ready to go. So it's here in Buffalo. Come on down if you want to take a look at it in person. And just remember, if you want a yacht, call Scott.